Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining me for the Monica Makes It Happen social media show. I'm Monica Morales. You can see me every day on Pix 11 News fighting for you and your community. This show is all about stories and people you care about. We highlight community champions. We also fight to get you the resources, repairs, and respect you deserve, especially homes. Tonight's episode is all about housing heroes. From free services to help you with your housing vouchers and find your forever affordable homes, to a $3 million grant for free art programs all across New York City. But first, this.
Monica Makes It Happen is sponsored by London Disability, dedicated to helping the disabled get Social Security benefits.
And there's a team of housing specialists that help homeless New Yorkers get keys to their permanent homes every single day. It was an emotional moment when Mayor Adams helped a homeless senior get a new home. Pix 11 got an inside look at the team of housing heroes that made that moment happen and can make it happen for you. They look like a New York City real estate elite team, but what they really are is there's no commissions here, there's no fees. They're helping New York City's most vulnerable New Yorkers get their forever home.
We're happy to be a part of New York City's housing solution.
It was an unforgettable moment when Mayor Eric Adams gave keys to Alan Pastures, who had been homeless for 3 years. The mayor met him at a senior town hall, changing his life.
And I was like very depressed of knowing that I had a voucher and no one would do anything for me.
It took a team to make this moment happen. Pix 11 News got a behind-the-scenes look at the West Side headquarters of the mayor's home support unit. You remember moving from place to place.
So when I was younger, my mom, she really didn't have a footing. So we moved around a lot. So we lived in every borough. We lived in a lot of illegal basements. I can feel their pain. And so I'm very motivated to get them moved.
They are very busy right now, connecting landlords and brokers with New Yorkers most in need.
We're a team of 50, lawyers, social workers, advocates.
Dan Nugent is the team's director and says on any average day, this team does more than 1,000 outreach calls. With Mayor Adams expanding the Section 8 voucher program for the first time in decades, they're helping 1,200 families that have one for the first time.
We have, more work than specialists, and so we're really looking to meet the moment. We're operating at a 1.4% vacancy rate across the city, so we're really looking for a needle in the haystack and looking for these units, which is why we partner side by side with New York landlords.
Every time someone gets a family out of shelter into a permanent home, they ring this cowbell.
We would ring the doorbell, the cowbell.
So when you hear the cowbell, what does that mean?
That means somebody is leaving shelter into their new home.
And that brings you to tears.
Yeah.
Why?
Every day.
Why?
Because we're giving families a chance. Children are celebrating their holidays in their own home. It's a beautiful thing.
And thank you to this incredible team of housing specialists. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for everything that you do every day.
And thank you for sharing our story.
Oh, yeah, and if you want to reach this elite team of housing specialists, the HSU, just go to Monica Morales TV on all of our social media platforms, and we'll link you to their information. At their headquarters, HSU, right here on the West Side. Monica Morales, Pix 11 News. There's that cowbell. I love that cowbell, and I love social media because we're able to talk more in depth. There's so much more that we want to say, and joining me now is the big boss. Can I call you the big boss? Adrienne Lever, the executive director of the mayor's public engagement unit. There she is, and NYCHA Green is back, the outreach manager. She does a lot of the hard work, that front lines of the housing crisis that we're talking about. So much more to talk about, Adrienne. Now we can have that conversation. If, let's say, someone's watching who has a voucher, a landlord, what do you want to tell them immediately?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for coming to our office and sharing our story. We feel like sometimes this team is the unsung heroes of the city. The administration is laser focused on addressing the housing crisis and building new units. The mayor recently announced a moonshot deal of 500,000 units by the end of the decade.
Wow.
It's really exciting work, and we're proud of everything that's going into meeting that goal. At the same time, we know that people who don't have a roof over their heads today can't wait a decade for a new apartment.
They can't wait another minute.
They can't wait another minute. And these are urgent situations.
How many emails I get. I mean, in my box right now, there are pictures, too, of families that are waiting with their vouchers, and they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
What do you tell them?
Well, we're really focused on making sure that we partner with landlords and brokers to bridge that gap. So our team is going out every single day. We're making phone calls, we're sending text messages, we're knocking on doors, and trying to identify vacancies the minute they become available. We partner with landlords and brokers, and once we find that they have an available unit, we're working with them hand in hand to make the process of renting to a voucher recipient easier, and particularly those who are coming out of DHS shelters.
I really feel it because when people are watching, they're like, okay, how can I use them to help me because they need homes right now? So you're a team of 50, and what I love when we visited you, Ms. Green, you are in charge of this incredible team that's available to people right now. All they have to do is go online, and you're going to make that connection for them with their voucher in hand?
Yeah, absolutely. So the specialists, they reach out to landlords every day, right? So they're on the phones, they're calling, they're just nonstop with it, right? And so they reach out to these landlords and these brokers, and they get these apartments. And then that gives, right, the voucher holders first dibs sometimes at these apartments, right?
I love first dibs.
Yes,
we love to hear
they give them
that.
first dibs at the apartments. And so we have a database that they put the apartments in, and then once they put that in the database, our partners, like the Department of Homeless Services, get to see those units and add those clients right into the viewing.
And this is that magic database.
It's the magic connection, really. We think that this is the opportunity to see the way that landlords and brokers in the city can partner to address the housing crisis. Because right now we're facing a historic low of vacancy. It's 1.4% vacancy rate.
Pretty bad, yeah.
It's really, really hard for people who are struggling to find homes, and we know there are so many more voucher holders than there are empty apartments for them to move into. It's why we're really focused on making sure that we can create that pipeline for people who are struggling and trying to move into a permanent home coming out of shelter. As you heard, NYCHA has a personal story about that. And not only did she struggle as a young person with her family to move in, she's also now a landlord, and so really paying that back. We find that connection is so important because so many landlords have misconceptions about what it means to rent to a voucher recipient. They think that they have to take a financial hit, and I know Z, as a landlord, you've been moving folks into your home as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And to touch on the stigma, like when I was told about this story, right, I was so nervous that I was going to come across as like a victim, right? And I just want to say, like, people with vouchers are just like me and you, right? They have they work really hard, and they have their own story, right? And so they're just like us, right? And it's a moment in time where they're struggling, right? And that can happen to you. That can happen to Adrian. And it happened to me, but it's not my whole story, right? It's not who I am as a whole. And like finding that stable housing, it grew me into the person that I am today.
NYCHA, I love that you're the boss. I love that you get that, because I feel like that adds a layer of sensitivity and compassion that we sometimes need, right, when we're in these situations. Final thoughts about someone watching who is struggling, and a landlord that's like, oh, I might have a spot, but they have these myths in their head about what it means to have a voucher or a tenant with a voucher. We
want to make sure that landlords and brokers who are interested in working with us understand that they don't have to take a financial hit to rent to someone who is on a voucher. I think, as Z was saying, she also is a landlord now. She's struggling to make ends meet. We're civil servants, and at the end of the day, she has a mortgage to pay. But these vouchers pay market rate for apartments. So I was actually out canvassing, knocking on doors up in the Bronx with our team a couple of weeks ago, and talking to landlords and brokers. We met a young couple who have a single family home, a multifamily home. They live on the first floor and they rent the upstairs, and they were talking to us about their vacancy, and they were shocked to find that they could get market rate if they were helping us to move someone out of shelter. So they thought they would have to take a loss.
It's a real win-win.
It's a huge win-win.
So hopefully, and what I'm getting to, which is really exciting about the show, is I'm getting viewers telling me that because of our show, they have been placed, or they have finally gotten their forever home. So I do want to hear from you. I'm saying this now. please reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok about your stories of success after these shows, because we do these shows just hoping we can help one person, and that now we're seeing dozens of people getting homes because of our show. And it's thanks to the hard work of you and that cowbell. Dan, where are you? You have your team here. I want to hear some cowbell. Thank you guys for the work that you do.
Thank you so much,
You'll be
Monica.
back on the show, I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. And we
right.
hope if there are any landlords or brokers out there that they will reach out to us by going
Again, what's
to
the website?
It's nyc.gov/HSU.
HSU, really easy to remember. We're going to put that up. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. And next, we have an incredible story that we have to tell you about an arts program that's coming up. Thanks, guys. All right, we have to talk about this $3 million for art programs in NYCHA, and who's the boss of this new program. Camy Kareem, the NYCHA Art Liaison, is here. I have been wanting to talk to you one-on-one ever since I met your team. One of your biggest supporters, the executive director of the Public Housing Community Fund. He just adores you. I know. Little
Alex is great.
Well, I mean, what's so great is that you're the first of its kind in this position. And tell me about that. I mean, it's a real shift. It's a real awakening in public housing.
It's a very unique position. I've always been an artist, so like documenting the process of art integrating into public housing is very seamless. But managing an entire artist in residence program with 5 artists citywide there's a lot of moving parts, but I'm grateful that I have a supportive team, and I'm also just a very chill person to manage all of it. But it's been a beautiful experience. I think one of the biggest things I've learned is definitely just patience and flexibility. Every community has different needs, every artist has different needs, and I think in order to make From Roots to Arts a successful and impactful program, we really have to just take our time and be intentional about everything that we're doing.
Wow. That was really good, what you just said. I love that, and I love that you're in charge. And we did a whole story and show about the program itself. Roots to Arts is what it's called. But what I love is about you being in charge of it, and that's what I love, the people behind the mission and the movement, and that's you. You're from the Bushwick Houses. Your story is incredible.
Thank you.
I mean, your grandma lived there, so
For
we're
so
talking
many
60
years.
years of roots in
So
public
many years.
housing. What do you think she'd think of you being in charge of the entire citywide mission?
My grandmother has always been so proud of me. So I don't think she would be surprised that I'm here sitting with you talking about this program. I don't think she'd be surprised that I'm here, sitting here, in this position that I'm in, pursuing my dreams as an artist. I definitely think she would go downstairs and tell all of our neighbors. I think that's the most real and raw reaction she would have to me being in a position that I'm in now. She would just be telling everyone in Bushwick, yeah, my granddaughter's managing a program. That's just how she was.
You're more than just managing, but your millions of dollars is being put thanks to the Mellon Foundation, and you're going to create all this wonderful programming now in so many different developments. I mean, you are from Bushwick.
Yes.
You grew up in Bushwick. You live there. What's the biggest thing? You want this to be NYCHA led. You want this to be led by the people.
Yes.
That's really important to you.
I feel like historically we've had programs come in and out of public housing, right? And I think for the first time we have an opportunity to create real change in our communities. And I feel like there's programs that come in that kind of dictate where things should go or how things should be done. But I feel like with this particular opportunity, the residents are able to communicate how they would like to see art in their spaces. They live and breathe in public housing communities in their respective developments, and so they should have a voice in what comes in there, especially when it pertains to art, something that's very limited in public housing.
That's why I really wanted to talk to you on this couch and in the studio, because I feel like that is what you deserve for this program. It's such a big deal. And I think we don't even know the impact yet because it's just starting off. So I love
Building
doing
the plane while flying. It's exciting.
Because I do follow-ups. I love to for years we do follow-ups. But the most exciting thing are the people that are going to lead this. You're leading it, and we're going to make sure to tell your story. I love that your grandparents were married at the community center there, and now
My mom and dad.
Your mom and dad, and then
well, they were married there. Their reception was there, so we have pictures from that reception.
So it's like you have so many deep roots roots there, and now you're giving back in a big way. So will you come back and talk to us more about the program as it evolves? I want front row seats, that's for sure.
I would be happy to.
And you want our viewers to get involved. How do they get involved? How do they get involved?
They can find out more information at communityfund.nyc. But we also have an upcoming Meet the Artists panel on September 4th at our Industrious location.
I love that. We'll put all that information on our website, on our social media pages. Thank you, Camy, for sharing your story, and thank you for leading and being the boss. We love to have the bosses here, and thank you for watching. Make sure to tune in to the Monica Makes It Happen TV show, the next one. That's Monday, September 30th at 4:30 p.m. It's all about building financial freedom for you and your family. We'll also have the 3 C's, my favorite, the CEOs, celebrities, and checks just for you. You can also watch me every night right here on Pix 11 News at 5:45 and 6:45. Reach out to us with your stories and videos at Monica Morales TV on all of our social media platforms. Maybe you could be on our next show. Let's keep making it happen together. See you next time. Thank you, Kevin.